It's the DownbeachBUZZ podcast for June, early June. Recording this on June 11, 2025 with Sherri Lilienfeld of eXp Realty. We have some slides, market stats.
What's going on in Margate as of 6/6? So the number of homes on the market are 54 homes. It's basically unchanged since last month, but the real story is what's been going under contract in the last 30 days. And as we know, right, traditionally February, March, April, that's when things really pick up, right? That's when people are thinking, oh, wow, I want to get my shore home. I need to buy my shore home. But then the last 30 days, mid-May till June 6th, they really slowed down. So only 8 homes went under contract in 30 days. And again, this is just single family properties. It doesn't include condos. Single family residential properties. So there were 54 single family residential properties for sale, and only 8 went under contract in 30 days. So that tells you you're in a 7-month supply. That says you are trending towards a buyer's market. So buyers, listen up. Buyer's market means this is a good time for you to buy because sellers are getting anxious and would like to sell their properties. So very important. So what's Ventnor looking like? Oh, again, the median price, a median. So I didn't do an average price, right? When you do an average price, you add up all the numbers and then you divide it by 54, which is the number of properties that you're adding up. But there's some homes that are skewing that off. So what median means is it's right in the middle. There's an equal amount of properties above and below. Yes, good job. See, you are a numbers person. Who are you kidding?
My real estate buddies are always impressed with me that I can talk about stuff like this fluently without a realtor's license either.
Yes, because Ventnor always follows Margate, right? So in Ventnor, there's 57 homes on the market. It's traditionally been running less than Margate. This single family homes. Last month it was 44. So slight increase over number of homes. But only 4 homes went under contract in 30 days. So the Ventnor market's really slowing down as well. And the absorption rate based on those numbers, 47 divided by 4, means there's a 12-month supply. Again, what?
Why do you think things are slowing down even more in Ventnor? Do you get a sense, anecdotal evidence, or any wild guesses?
If I had to guess, I might say that, Ventnor prices, they've really jumped up, and people always felt, hey, if I can't find what I want in Margate, I'll buy it in Ventnor because I can get it a lot cheaper. But when those prices started really climbing, and people well, I might as well buy in Margate then and spend a little bit more. That's a guess. Again, I don't know for sure. I have been seeing here, let me show you the next, look at the median price in Ventnor, 1.549. So exactly what I was saying, the median price in Margate was 2.2. So people feel well, if I could spend a little bit more money and buy Margate, I'm going to buy Margate. And it wasn't always like this. The median price wasn't so close to the Margate number. That's my guess. Do you have a guess?
Because you're saying that the Ventnor median price, Ventnor's slowly creeping up on the usually more expensive Margate, the next door neighbor.
That's correct. But do you have a theory? That would be my theory.
Yeah, I think that people could not get into Margate or get enough, land or the proper lot or the proper property, and they start taking a look at Ventnor. And if they couldn't find something in Ventnor, they would probably go to Lower Chelsea or something like that, or Brigantine, right? But usually Margate is where they kind of start, and then they get maybe frustrated, and they take a look and they go, wait, Ventnor is the same beach. I'm going to say it, the name cachet of Margate. But Ventnor has changed over the past 10 years dramatically.
It really has. Everyone loves, a good nightlife in Ventnor. But again, the prices in Margate were so much higher than Ventnor. And now you're looking at kind of closer in price. So maybe people are thinking, well, I'm going to go back to Margate and look in Margate. So that's my feeling. And I don't necessarily feel the Ventnor lots are larger. I feel like that might be in St. Leonard's Tract, but in general, their lots aren't any larger. You're talking the same property, Margate versus Ventnor, not as much of a difference in the price as it used to be. So maybe now people are looking back into Margate. So let's just take just a really quick look into Longport. 12 homes on the market. There were 14 last month. Longport's so small. Again, hard to get really good statistics here. And one home went under contract in the last 30 days. But take a look at this number. The median price is $4.547 million. I do want to say something else about Longport. Longport's really changing a lot. I don't know how many people are aware. Like, there are some houses on the point that have been torn down. I mean, these homes that people are familiar with, when they think of Longport, when they go to the end and look out at the end at the point, they recognize these homes. Well, two of those homes are down and someone's building a McMansion there. So the skyline of I should say skyline, but you know what I mean, of Longport's really, really changing. It's just a very unusual market just because it's so small and so exclusive.
Yeah, now people are telling me that they're knocking down 10 and 15-year-old homes as soon as 15 years. Oh, it's an old house. I need something bigger and better. And we see more of that, don't we?
I was in the building department and they were saying something like someone asked for a demolition permit for a home that was 5 years old. It's so funny. I always have to talk about the environment and sustainability, and you always have to talk about pickleball. So no matter what we do, we always get that into our podcast. So how long have you been playing now?
Only about 4 years. I remember when I got started, a lot of us couldn't even get the ball over the net, but we've all advanced because pickleball, you could pick it up pretty fast. And everybody gets hooked on it because they make friends with all these people. So all these people are, you get very friendly with a lot of people up there. So that's one of the best parts of it. Oh, speaking of which, I went up to yesterday, I was going to take pictures of the new beach stage in Ventnor for the beach concerts every Saturday night. I was riding my bike and I heard the pop, 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 pop of the pickleball courts, and they pulled me into a game. Damn them. But I eventually did go up and I got some great pictures of the new beach stage in Ventnor. Would you like to see them, or do you want to continue on with
Yes, I love it.
And so now we'll take a look at some of the photos of the new beach concert pavilion, the shell, the band shell, the stage. Rebuilt a new one is what they did. It's right behind the Ventnor Library, right behind the Cultural Arts Center in Ventnor. Look at the size of that, Cher. The amount of people that can get on to the beach. I don't think there's anything like this anywhere up and down the South Jersey shore. But take a look at that great stage area.
Wow, that is a lot of space for sure.
This one was a lot cheaper. This one only cost the Ventnor taxpayers about maybe less than $250,000, where the original bid, somebody wanted to build something for about $750,000. Wow. So back in the day when everybody was just throwing money around, right?
Mm-hmm. All these people were calling me because there was a potential fire at my home. How this fire start? It had to do with, I had a power washer on my home and water was running down to this outlet and it started smoking. It just started smoking from the water. That was an outdoor GFCI outlet. And GFCI outlets are supposed to, when there's a short, which is what happens when water gets in them, like the ones in your bathroom, they're supposed to shut off. Well, this one didn't shut off. And Zach was telling me the older GFCI outlets used to fail. When they would fail on instead of off, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I guess it failed, and it was older, and it failed on. So it literally started smoking in my wall. I mean, it could have been really bad. The guy who was power washing, I wasn't there. He called the fire department right away. Oh my God, these guys are amazing. I just want to give a big shout out to the Margate Fire Department. They were great. They were professional. They were right on it. But I couldn't believe how many of them were there. But it was explained to me, when there's a fire, they all have to come. Like, they can't just send one truck and then decide if you need I drove up and there were three or four trucks and an ambulance in front of my house, for an outlet. But it could have been really, really bad. The moral of the story is get your outside GFCIs tested and or replaced. If they get corroded, which they can and will down here, and they're older and they fail the wrong way, you can have a devastating fire.
How old was your outlet? Just so we can get a sense of how long do they last in a salty environment?
Yeah, my outlet was probably about 20 something years old. Not old, but not 5 years old. And it got wet the way it did from the power washer. He wasn't power washing my outlet, keep in mind. He was power washing the roof, the soffit of my deck, and it was dripping. It just dripped into the GFCI. It just dripped in it. And then it shorted it.
But he was a professional, so he knew what to do when he saw the smoke coming out, right? That's what you told me?
He had told me, like, when he power washes, sometimes it'll sizzle, but he'll hear a pop. Like, he'll hear the pop where it shuts off, like it's supposed to do. But he said, I didn't hear a pop, and it kept on smoking. So he called his boss, and his boss said, you have to call 911. But the Margate guys were great. They actually had to come into my house too. They had a thermal sensor that was checking the wall on the other side to make sure there wasn't still heat in the wall, that make sure there wasn't still a fire on that side of the wall. So yeah, just everyone check your GFCIs. The ground fault circuit interrupter, right? So it's grounded, and yes, it's supposed to pop off. It's supposed to shut off the power to it when there's a short. That's why you see them in bathrooms and kitchens. You see them in bathrooms and kitchens because there's water near there, and water will complete a circuit. It conducts. So that's why when water gets into it, if you have two wires that aren't next to each other, they're next to each other but not touching, the water actually completes the circuit.